play here, 3rd and 15. The Eagles need a big chunk of yardage to keep this drive alive.
It's aggressive.
Burbage went in motion. They had 3 guys to the left. And now it's Penix taking off up the middle, and he has a lot of room to roam. Carter Penix in for the touchdown from 28 yards
It's
out.
time for the LCA Football Coach Oakley Watkins Show. Live from the home of the Eagles in Lexington, Kentucky on the OrthoLinks Sports Network. The Coach Oakley Watkins Show is presented by Justice Broadcast Network and the Kentucky Bluebird Grill and Pub. Now here's the host of the Coach Oakley Watkins Show, Jason Hunt.
All right, we're here live, Reynolds Road, with the Coach Oakley Watkins Show. It is a blessing to be having the show this week, Coach. We got another win in the playoffs. We can call you, for the first time as a head coach, a regional champion. So what does that feel like?
It's pretty special. Actually got asked earlier today before practice by a news outlet. They were like, it's first year and you want a region championship? And I was like, to be honest with you, I hadn't really even thought about it that way. I'm so ingrained in what these kids are doing, and I want their experience to be the best that it possibly can be. It is cool to be in this position as a first-time head coach, but really for me at the end of the day, it's these kids. I want them to have a first-class experience, and I think they're having a blast playing together, and that's what's most special for me is seeing them celebrate the plays after a game like that is pretty cool.
So let's talk about the game a little bit. Let's talk about Mayfield. And one thing from my standpoint is we were more physical than they were. Is that your first impression coming out of the game?
Well, that game Friday night was as physical of a football game as I've been a part of in a long time. And we've played some physical ones. I thought Lexington Catholic this year was a physical game. I thought Franklin County and Boyle both were extremely physical games. Our game at Mayfield last year was a physical game, but just with the weather elements and that game's turned into quite the rivalry between both teams. It was a physical game. So I was proud of our kids. I really felt like they rose to the occasion. And the first play of the game, I knew it was going to be physical. You heard the pads in the rain, but our guys really played their tails off and answered every call that they got asked to make. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then if you start looking at the weather, it's going to be a factor again this week, more than likely. It's going to be cold, could be rainy. So I thought our team did a pretty good job of putting that aside and playing football. Yeah,
I thought the first drive for us on offense was really a testament to our kids. I mean, for us, it was the first time really we had the ball on offense to start a game in a long time, and that's as hard as I've seen it rain
yeah.
on our field, and I can't tell you how long. And there we were, and I tell our guys, you never know when the biggest plays of the games are going to happen. That's why you got to play each play like it is that play. But that 3rd and 9 on our first drive to execute, Nash handling it from a play action standpoint. I know he even looked at me a little bit. Was like, we're throwing it right now on this. And Sam had a huge play, and then for us to just be able to run it basically the rest of the drive and be able to score in the weather elements they were. I mean, our kids could have made every excuse in the world. Like, we got behind the chains, we had a penalty, we had a touchdown call back, it was raining. But I thought that drive was a great example of the mental fortitude that our kids demonstrate week in, week out.
Yeah, so we're really happy to pull away and have a victory in that round. And then as we look forward, what do you think this week, from last week to this week, that we need to keep tweaking on to get better?
Yeah, this week is so different than what it was last week, so it's hard to really pinpoint one thing. And the reason I say that is Belfry's just really unorthodox in what they do comparatively to really what everybody else we've played has done. I mean, they're in a different style offense. It's more of an old school with some new school wrinkles from a wing tee flex bone deal. So it's something that you got to be, from a discipline standpoint, really, really detail oriented on the defensive side of the ball. And then defense, like they just fly to the football. I mean, they has 11 hats at the point of attack. So for us, it's just continuing to own in all the things we've talked about from day one. And then we did turn the football over Friday, which is something that we haven't really done much this year. So that is an area that I'd like to see us really improve upon coming into this week.
Sounds good. Our favorite part of the night is we get to feature some athletes. So we have two that kind of know each other pretty well. Who we got here tonight?
Yeah, and this is such a cool story that we've got a long snapper and Will Hester snapping to his brother, Dean Hester, and they are 2 of 3 triplets.
Yeah.
Their sister is just a absolute star on the lacrosse field. So we've got. I'll start with Dean Hester. Dean is a senior kicker punter for us. I know that they'd be looking at each other who would go first. The only reason I did that is he's number 34, you're 42, so I got an answer. But Dean is he's just been an absolute blessing to our program. He's such a leader in the school. He's really, in a lot of ways, turned into the face of the school from media appearances and just his leadership in general. Just an awesome young man to be around, and he's, even as a kicker, has been a captain one week, which is something that we've never had here as a specialist, be a captain. And again, I think that just speaks to who he is in the locker room and how people look at him. And he's really, I mean, Friday night, you think about the way he flipped the field for us and the way he kicked the football from a kickoff standpoint, kicking in the end zone, he's a really special young man. And then the other one's number 42, senior long snapper Will Hester. Will has probably the most thankless position, and you talk about unsung heroes on our team. To be a long snapper and do it at the level that he does it, I put him as the top long snapper in Kentucky, and I don't use that loosely. He's a guy that I've never seen a long snapper work as hard as he does at his craft, and I think that speaks to who he is as a person too. And I know he's got aspirations to go play in college, and he's going to be a guy wherever he ends up that's going to be impactful. But he's a guy that's a position you only know he's there when he messes up. Well, I can tell you he don't mess up much because people don't talk about that very much. So Will's he's awesome. He makes our team better. Both these guys, this time of year, you got to be extremely good in the third phase. And both those guys drive everything that we're doing in that phase. So pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back with you.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're back here with Dean Hester. Dean, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir, of course.
This is our favorite part of the show. We get to kind of showcase the athletes here, and I always ask everybody kind of the same line of questions. The first is coming into this offseason, what were you working on the most, and what did you want to accomplish in the offseason heading into this football season?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think the biggest thing being a specialist is that consistency aspect of it. On a good day, I feel like I'm one of the better kicker punters in the state. But whenever you're off and you're not firing, it can be ugly, and it's a very mental game. So I think just being stable mentally, being strong enough in that aspect of the game to make a mistake and then bounce back right after, that was kind of the main thing that I wanted to focus on heading into this season.
Gotcha. And you also play lacrosse.
Yes, sir.
And would you say there's anything in those two sports that cross paths that makes you better? If you're good at one thing in lacrosse or good at one thing in football, do they help each other?
I think it's the mental aspect is the most, because lacrosse, you have so many plays. You're going to mess up. You're going to fail at some point in that game, and you got to bounce back. And it's the same with kicking. Obviously, it's a lot more relaxed, I feel like, physically when it comes to kicking. But, I mean, I think either way, I love playing both. One's definitely more physical. It's more demanding. But the other one, when it comes to the mental aspect, you really have to get it under control.
So how many times in your career have you really looked forward to a kickoff and maybe the runner gets past your first line and you can pop somebody? Yeah,
of course. So that's happened quite a few times, especially if I'm having a poor game and I'm not performing the way that I want to. I mean, we had I think it was against Danville, we had a punt, and I saw the guy coming over, and I was like, I'm so mad at myself right now. I'm not performing the way I want to. And he got through the line, and I see all the coaches on the sideline. They're like, no, get away. It's not worth it. And I was so pissed. I was like, I want to take him out. I don't care what this means.
And you popped him?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So now let's talk about the team. You're a senior.
Yes, sir.
This group of seniors, we've said this as a trend through many things, a tight group of people, especially from the football team. Everyone who sat in your seat said the same thing. You have a team goal of winning a state championship. We have a big boy schedule to start out. Then we go through district play. Now we're through 3 rounds in the playoffs. What do you think about your teammates and your team that we've gotten better at each week going through the season? And what do you think we need to do to finish the job?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, beginning of the season, weren't as tight-knit as we were now, and I think that comes with not being around each other as much. I mean, when you're a senior, you're with everybody. You're with freshmen, you're with sophomores, you're with juniors, and obviously going to senior dinners has been huge. We can say anything to any one of those guys. They're going to be like, okay, they want what's best for me, and I'm going to take that with a grain of salt, and I'm going to move on, and I'm going to try to fix what I messed up. So we all love each other. We're all there for each other. Even when, things get a little chippy in practice, it's next play, move on, be the best you can be, love the guy next to you.
Love it. And if you think, what we need to get over the edge, what do we need to do better as a team?
Yes, sir. So I think it's just keeping our heads about us, especially these games are going to get physical. Belfry's a very, very physical team. They're a very talented team. It's, okay, when these guys makes a mistake, what can I do to help him, not to tear him down necessarily, but to be constructive with my criticism, and just move on. It's obviously things aren't always going to go our way, but be the best you can be at that moment.
Love it. And then we always step away from football for a minute and talk about LCA as a school. So when did you start coming to LCA?
Came freshman year.
Freshman year.
Yes, sir.
And then since you've been here, if I'm an outsider, I know nothing about LCA, and I'm asking you, what's your opinion of the school, or what's special about the school to you? What would you say?
So from the outside looking in, you think LCA and you think entitled. Everybody's out for themselves. It's not very team-oriented, but then you get here and it totally flips on its head. Everybody here wants what's best for you. The teachers are all great. Administrators are great. All the students, they're there for you no matter what. So there's that family aspect to LCA. Everyone cares for everybody. Everybody knows everybody. And that's been a huge part of my high school career and my brother's high school career, just helping us kind of grow not only as students but as men.
And if I'm not mistaken, you already have plans after school.
Yes, sir.
So you've committed to play lacrosse at Williams. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So you're going to put down the football pads for the lacrosse stick after this year. So we might as well end with a ring, don't you think?
Yes, sir. Exactly. I mean, I don't think football's over for me quite yet. I definitely lacrosse is that focus for me right now. That's what I was recruited to play. But I would like to play football at Williams and then see where I end up with that.
Love it. Yeah, let's do that. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Great job. We'll take a short break and be back with your brother, Will Hester.
Yes, sir.
We are back here live with Will Hester, who happens to have a number higher than his brother, so he has to bat second on the lineup today, according to Coach. So thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you a little bit the same thing. Your focus, obviously, you spend time with your brother on the special teams as specialist, and so what was your focus in the off season, and what did you want to get better at coming into the season?
I wanted to get better at honestly just getting the ball there. I like to pick and choose, honestly. Like, I get very picky about what the snap looks like. And when I come off the field, I torture the holder and I torture him. I'm like, hey, what'd it look like? And sometimes you'll even see me go over to the iPad and I look at it and I look at the snap to make sure it's perfect, because that's the standard I hold myself to. But I've had to work on, hey, just get it there. Like, that's the focal point right now. Obviously, when you want to go play in college, like, you got to work on those points. But just toning that intensity back a little bit, and unfortunately, I take it on Dean a little bit. I'm lucky to have him because he can take the intensity, so it's good. But just honestly, just toning that intensity back a little bit.
Yeah, I got you. And so, if we start talking about that, how did you know, or when did it come about that you learned you could be a long snapper? How did that skill come about?
Honestly, it was just accidental. I wanted to get into football through family history. My parents were just like, hey, we don't want your brain to get hurt or anything like that. And so I just was like, hey, I'll play long snapper then. And I just worked. It took a long time, honestly. And it's a position that people don't realize how hard it is, honestly. And it takes a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of working on your own, and just focusing on the fundamentals and the small things. But I've enjoyed it. It has been so fun for me. And I'm currently working with another long snapper on the team for next year. And it has just been so fun working with him, honestly. And just working through the whole process. It's so enjoyable. Yeah.
And then so as you make that growth and you learn, like, okay, I may be able to do this, and you start getting better, What did that process look like? What did you do in practice-wise? Is this finding an instructor? Is this look at YouTube? Is this just reps? How did you get better?
Yeah, so actually, again, I was on my own. I didn't have anyone teaching me how to long snap, and I just reached out to the UK long snapper, and over time, we just became best friends. I would train with him all the time. I did a couple camps here and there, but we would just work in the Kentucky indoor, and we just worked nonstop, and it just developed my technique.
Love it.
And just grew from there.
Gotcha. Do you also play lacrosse?
Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah. So when you're thinking about a bad snap that you're mad about, that you can yell at your brother, tell me what it's like when you see someone running down with the ball and you know that you can just take the stick and just whack them with no penalty. What is that about?
It's fun. Again, as he said, it's a way to get the anger out, and obviously you don't want to do it too much. But it's being a specialist. There's not really much hitting there. So the opportunities you get, you got to take them, right?
I'm pretty
sure. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I came and watched Hunter last year just try to hit somebody with a stick when he was playing lacrosse. I'm not sure he knew any of those plays that he was talking about.
So, he enjoyed it, though. That was for sure.
I love it. So let's make a transition and talk about your team and your teammates. What does it mean to you to be a member of LCA football? What is that? If you have that tag and you're wearing that shirt and you're doing that, what does that mean to you to be a member of this team?
I think it means the most, honestly. This program is so respected, honestly, in the state as just great men. And honestly, I don't know where I would be without this program because, again, my brother and I didn't play freshman year. We joined sophomore year. And freshman year, it had that feeling of missing something, right? And so when we joined sophomore year and we developed the brotherhood, and it was just unbelievable. It truly means the most to be a part of it, and I couldn't imagine not playing football for this team, honestly. So I enjoy it.
Love it. We always flip the switch. We talk about LCA. I'm guessing you came your freshman year too as well with your brother. Tell me your favorite memories or what you would want someone to know about LCA as a school.
It is so welcoming. It really is. We had the nerves of coming in freshman year, not knowing what we were going to do, what it looked like socially, what the teachers were going to be like in the staff, but it has been ridiculous how opening everybody is. The teachers are all absolutely amazing and welcoming, and everybody's just kind. It's simple as that. I mean, you don't have to make it any more difficult. It's just people are kind here. Yeah. And again, as I said, I couldn't imagine being at a different place. I'm so grateful for LCA.
Let's not leave the cupboard empty that your brother tried to steal the highlights. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to do one thing, which is say something to your fans and the people who've supported you through this season, who've came out to watch games, who sat in the rain and the cold and done all of those things. And the fans, I'm going to give you the opportunity to say something to them before you head out.
Alrighty, I just appreciate you all being there. I know this season has been a long season, and Coach Oakley talks about how it's getting a little exhausting sometimes, and this is what separates the teams, right? And so we have to find the joy again and work hard and find the intensity, and we have to do it for you guys, for the fans, for all the people who sacrifice all the hours sitting in the stands or driving their kids to practice. We just have to do this for you all, and we appreciate you guys more than you guys will ever understand. And it means the most for us to see you guys in the student section. When you guys don't think we see you, whether you're a parent, a fan, or even a sibling, your child sees you and watches you to see your reaction because we want to make you happy. And when you guys find joy, it makes playing the sport so much more fun. So keep being there and supporting us, and especially in the next 2 weeks, we're definitely going to need you all. And again, we appreciate you guys more than you will understand.
All right. Well, let's go get a win, and let's do this right before we head to Kroger Field. How's that?
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
All right. Great job. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back with Coach Oakley Watkins.
Introducing Lexington, Kentucky's newest and most advanced orthopedic surgery practice. Meet Dr. Jason Hunt, board-certified orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine specialist at the Joint Preservation Center in Lexington, Kentucky. At the Joint Preservation Center, we don't just replace joints, we preserve them. When it comes to surgery using advanced, minimally invasive arthroscopic and regenerative techniques, Dr. Hunt and his team repair, realign, and revive your natural joints, helping you move freely again, now and for the future. Whether you're local to Lexington or anywhere in the country, schedule a consultation today. Virtual visits are available. Your joints, your movement, your future deserve more than a quick fix. The Joint Preservation Center. Save your joints. Safeguard your future. We are taking sports medicine and orthopedics to a new level in Lexington, Kentucky, and across the country. Call us today, 859-406-0000. 9719.
We've missed the 6-7 version, so we're good right now. All right, we are back here live, Reynolds Road, with Coach Oakley Watkins. Coach, that's a couple rock stars we just had, right? It's going to be awesome to hear their story, and as they grow and leave the program, to see what footprints they left on it and fingerprints they left on it. It's really awesome. So it's awesome to have them on. And like I said many times now, if nothing else came from what we're doing right now, that's our favorite part, is putting the athletes on here so they can highlight, and everyone seems to love it. But let's talk about Pirates now. So everyone, there's going to be a red wave come from East Kentucky and coming to Reynolds Road. I'm glad we're not heading to East Kentucky and going that way. But you alluded a little bit before the break about what Belfry is about, and they are heavy in the run game, and they came out and showed Johnson Central that they're going to come out and spread. That didn't last for very long. But as we prepare for that game, and I know we're not going to talk about strategy that they need to hear, but as we prepare for this game as a team, what do we need to hone in on that is going to give us the best chance to not get off to a bad start, or to be able to come out to a fast start?
Yeah, I think this time of year, and I say this to our team all the time, that, I mean, when you're playing for a state semifinal, an opportunity to go play in a state championship game, everybody's good now, right? And that's the thing about Belfry, is they are really, really, really efficient at what they do offensively. I mean, this is probably one of the highest scoring offenses that they've probably had there. Just looking at the scores that they've had and how explosive they can be. We played them, it's probably 8 years ago down there in Pond Creek, and they had a running back by the name of Isaac Dixon that was just so explosive. And they came up here 5 years ago, and we played them over at Henry Clay, and they were a little bit different. But you look at this group now, what makes this team different than the past Belfry teams I've seen is they got so many weapons on offense. So it's not just one guy that you can focus on. So for us, when you talk about multiple guys on offense like that, you've got to be really disciplined and understanding what your keys are.
Yeah.
So that's been something this week that we've really preached in terms of our defensive plan, is just making sure guys aren't trying to do somebody else's job. And some weeks you can get away with that, but when you play a team like Belfry, you can't do that.
Yeah, they'll expose you. And they're not afraid of success. They've been very successful. They've won state championships, and they have a program. They don't have a football team. They have a program. That's what we talk about. Our desire here is to be. They're that way. They lost Philip Haywood. He's a legend for many, many years. Everyone knows that name in high school football. But if you look at programs being bigger than one coach or one player who graduates, that they're a perfect example of how if you stick to the program and you're going to have success. That's what they've been doing through the years, even without Philip Haywood there.
Well, and I'll tell you, this is a testament to what our program thinks about Belfry. Is when we went down there and played them in the Pike County Bowl, and it might have been my first year calling plays. It was, yes, because D. Smith was playing receiver, had a big game. We didn't win, and after the game was over, Coach Doug had Coach Haywood come talk to our team, and just seeing our team and really even our coaching staff locked into every word that he was talking about, just as a legend and what he's obviously done with the Belfry football program. And he's somebody that we all strive to be as coaches, somebody that cares about young people, builds young people up, teaches young people about accountability, and you can still see those things in that program today. Coach Varney he's doing a great job. But yeah, it is an awesome program. It's something that their program's left an impact on us. Those words that Coach Haywood spoke, I know Coach Doug talks about, he used to talk about that basically every year when he was the head coach here. So pretty special when you think about that.
Yeah. Let's talk about our crowd that came out last week. So it is raining as hard as I can remember standing in the rain at a football game. My wife had an umbrella and asked me to stand under, but I didn't. So I didn't want to be soft. Go. That's right. We took the rain. The student section showed up. And so we said that, like, we need you guys to come out and support these guys, and they certainly did. And it probably made a difference. And so we want to see that again this week. We want people to come out. It's going to be cold. It's going to be wet. But you only get every so often opportunity, a chance to win a game and go to the state championship at home. So we're looking forward to the same, but we sure appreciate them coming out. What do you have to say in general, again, I say it every week. What do you want to say to the fans this week? What's your call to them, and what are you telling the team about representing LCA this week?
Well, and you're 100% right that last week's crowd, and that's student section, just our families, our fans that maybe aren't family of players now. Like it was just a great environment for high school football Friday night, and that's a memory that students I think will have. And I told our team that, like, being able to celebrate up in the stands with your classmates, and it's pouring down rain, and you're beating now what's established as a playoff rival of ours. Like, that's a memory that those students are going to have for a long time, and that's something that I hope they're able to keep creating these memories and being able to do that in the cold temperatures of what Friday night's going to be. We had so Central Bank last week was generous enough to sponsor student tickets. This week we've got an anonymous donor that has said that they will cover the first 150 students at the game. So you think about that support too, and everybody that's trying to come in and just say LCA football is important to them. Like, Friday night was an awesome environment for high school football. It might have been Dean actually said to me after the game, he said, "Coach, that pregame experience, like that was the coolest experience I've had here at LCA." So, like, you think about somebody like that. I mean, he's a senior here, and getting to have that kind of experience, like, that's what this thing's all about.
For sure.
Again, these kids, and I think the same thing for the student section is, like, if we're going to make a push and hopefully play in Kroger Field, and obviously we're taking this one game at a time, and we've got a really big test Friday night, but to be able to go potentially experience that at Kroger Field as a student section, as a senior class, how cool would that be for those guys, those students and our players? So please come out. These guys have worked their tails off, and they deserve another great crowd.
You've been watching the LCA Football Coach Oakley Watkins Show here on the OrthoLinks Sports Network. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the OrthoLinks Sports Network YouTube channel so you never miss a show. Thank you to our sponsors, and until next week, go Eagles.